This is Boxes and Briefs, a podcast with real-life business stories. But we will be asking the hard questions and challenging traditions. So broaden your thinking with fresh perspectives and solve problems for business success. Welcome to another episode of Boxes and Briefs. My name's Lisa.
I'm Kelly.
And today we have with us Claude. Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you for being here.
Of course. This is a very technical one today. We're going to try and make technical not technical because we're talking about AI. So Claude is a previous systems engineer for the Millennium and Cockthorne Hotels, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare, and since 2011 has focused on cybersecurity. He's been a cybersecurity architect and consultant contracting for multinational cybersecurity vendors. There's a mouthful. You are now the Managing Director and Head of Cybersecurity at We As Web New Zealand. You specialise in software development, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, among other things. So tell us the We As Web story with all of that history and experience coming into what you do now. What is it?
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. And thank you for the introduction. You make me sound very intelligent, so hopefully I'll make up to that. As you know now, I've been in the industry for many years.
Yes.
And one of the two major things that I noticed in being in this industry for long is all the customers that I was talking to. First thing is the problem they have is budget, and secondly is resources. So budget is budget. It's not something that we can help with. Every company has their own financial plans and they have their own budgets, and why not? But in terms of resources, there's always been a problem. And I'm not talking about New Zealand. I'm talking about over the world. It's the same thing. It's the same theme. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough resources. There's a skill gap. There's problems like that. So about a year ago, We As Web New Zealand started a year ago, so we are actually starting to walk now. Hopefully we'll be able to run soon.
Yeah.
So about a year ago, had this conversation with a big partner in Europe, which is our largest partner at the moment. And the conversation was around resources, how to fill that gap, resource gap in this region. Obviously New Zealand, and we're looking at expanding in Australia and other places as well, but obviously let's start with New Zealand and try to do something here. So in terms of resources, the reason we looked at that is this company in Europe, they have about 600 developers working for them. It's quite a large company. They have about eight offices around Europe. They have about three I think now in US, and there's obviously lots of resources and marketing department. They have project managers, anything you need basically. They can back us up, they can help us with that sort of resource. So the conversation with them was, okay, I want to start something here in New Zealand, and obviously I need backup, I need your help.
Yep.
And we started this journey about a year ago with this theme in mind that we will start a small business here. At the moment it's about 3 people here, and we have some local resources as well, but the majority of our work and resources coming from Europe. And with the help of We As Web, they call We As Web as well. So for branding consistency, we basically kept the same name. So we call We As Web New Zealand. They are We As Web in the rest of the world as well. So it is actually quite a nice arrangement in terms of the partnership that we have with them. So first of all, they give us all the resources that we need. We talk to customers here and say, I need a developer for a small project. Yeah, we can help. I need 7 developers for a bigger project. We can give them. We can resource them tomorrow.
Right. So it's like a pool of developers that are available to businesses whenever they need website work.
Exactly. And it's not only website; it's any kind of software development project that you can think of. For example, we have customers that want to start and develop a application from scratch. We have that capability as well. We have customers that just want to revamp their website. Obviously, that's not a difficult task for us, but yeah, we can do that as well. We have customers that they want to implement something like Salesforce, something like Dynamics, SAP. They want to customize. They have it already, but they want to customize it, and the customization requires development work. We have the developers to help with that.
So in simple terms, it would be things like making your workflow software talk with your invoicing software. and it's the bit in between.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So you talk about, I think the official term is staff augmentation.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
great.
resources, right?
It's resources at the
Yes.
end of the day. Yeah.
So for businesses in New Zealand, because you're coming from the cybersecurity kind of background, I want to know, how do you make it safe? So a business employing a contractor to do some work, they're going to have access to their email, their name, back end of their website, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How do you keep it secure?
Yeah, exactly. So for staff augmentation, and outsourcing is basically very, very similar to that. So as staff augmentation goes, obviously as a business strategy, in my view, it's a good way to augment your team.
Yes, when you're not quite ready for that full-time
exactly.
ticket.
Or you don't have enough people. I have a project that maybe for the last 3 months I need to work on a project,
Yes.
whatever.
Okay.
I have 5 people, I need 7, So we can get those external professionals to come in and work for you. Now, obviously a very good question. What do we do now? How do we get those people working in a safe environment? So first of all, what we encourage, and what we do actually, is to vet those professionals. So we have obviously our own internal vetting system, and all the professionals that they work with us, they are actually, they sign NDAs, they sign legal contracts with us as well. And also in terms of the relationship with the customer, one of the big things here is we are a local company. So they don't have to deal with the company somewhere overseas. And it's always a bit of worry when people say, oh, but I don't know, is the company in Europe, then what's going to happen if something goes wrong, right? But we have our obviously entity here in New Zealand, and we look after the customer, but also from a point of view of making sure that everything is secure and they work in a safe environment. So obviously the vetting is on our side, on our part, but also we encourage customers, and you work on a specific checklist when you do onboarding. The onboarding process is quite important.
Yeah.
We need to understand exactly what kind of access our professional needs, and we give him exactly the access that he needs to do the job, nothing more.
Yeah.
So that's obviously quite important. They might have access to some information that is sensitive. Of course, in that case, we have an NDA in place. We can sign an NDA, but we can actually give them access specifically to the data that they need access to do their job, and nothing more. Then when we finish the project is the offboarding process. The offboarding process is probably, I would say, probably even more important, because we don't want to leave any
you have to stop
residual
access.
Exactly. We don't want to leave any residual access over there. We want to make sure that when the professional stops working on that specific project, intellectual property belongs to the customer. There's no residual code in our professional's environment, anyone on his laptop or whatever. Everything is passed on to the customer. So we want to make sure that when the process stops, all the access is removed as well.
Okay.
And also, often when you work with people overseas, of course, and it doesn't matter if they're overseas or not, but remotely, because generally this kind of work is done remotely.
Yeah.
When you work with them remotely, you have to give them access to and transfer files between, back and forth between the consultant, the professional, and obviously the company, the customer. So all that has to be encrypted. In our case, we don't do anything that's not encrypted. Everything has to be encrypted. Everything has to be safely stored. So we have all these things that we put in place, and we have what we call the cybersecurity checklist.
Yeah.
that we actually go through every time.
That whole checklist has got to be the result of finding out the hard way, either yourselves or somebody else,
it is,
right?
In a way, yes.
So what's
Yes.
a bad example? What's your worst case cybersecurity story?
Okay. Well, go into the laundry basket now. All right.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I don't have many.
Good. That's
which is not a bad
Yes.
thing, I guess. Yeah, I don't have many, but I do have a few, obviously. Probably, if I think about it now, one of the most interesting ones that I had in the last few years, about 2 years ago maybe, I was working with a large government agency. Obviously, I won't be able to reveal the name, which is obviously normal.
Yes.
But I was working with this government agency, and unfortunately, they suffered a very bad ransomware attack. So they've been infected. It was through an email that came with a link. Someone clicked on the link, and they got access into a system, and then they spread through the network, and they locked down a few of the systems. Now, the biggest problem was that one of the services that was locked down by the ransomware attack was their payment system. So imagine a government agency frozen.
They can't pay anyone?
Cannot pay, cannot receive money, they cannot transfer money, everything stops.
So it's not that the person stole the money, they just
froze it.
They just stopped the access, they just locked down the system so nobody could access the system. They encrypted obviously those those services, that the software, the services were installed, and nobody could access those. So it was of course a big problem.
Yeah.
It's all hands on deck situation. Everyone was trying to help them and this and that, of course. And the first reaction from there was obviously talking to the customer. Say, okay, let's go and have a look at your backups, because you have backups. Forget about this. This is locked down. We cannot do anything about it. Let's start a new system, install new services, and use backups to restore. Now the problem was that the hackers found the backups as well.
Oh no!
And that system was locked down as well.
Because I guess the issue is that if you're not a government agency or if you're not big, famous, it's never going to happen to you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it?
No, is that concept of security by obscurity? And you think, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that.
Because the thing is, these hackers and people who create this stuff to try and get at you, that's the goal, right? Is to get in there, do some damage, maybe make some money along the way.
Well, not maybe. That's the main goal, to make money. Because at the end of the day, even in this example, they've done all the damage. Obviously, then they locked down those systems, and the government agency basically was on hold. They couldn't do anything for a couple of days at the beginning, anyway. Now they received obviously an email with the ransom request, and the ransom requests were quite high. So lots of zeros.
How high?
Yeah,
Millions?
Lots of zeros, over $1 million. Yeah. Yes. So.
So they are very motivated to get in there.
Oh yeah. Because they make money. That's how they make money, and they're more organized. I hate to say this, but sometimes they're more organized than us.
Yeah.
They're really motivated and really well organized.
It's easy to pick something apart as opposed to build a wall or a shield.
Exactly. The problem with cybersecurity is in general, and I've seen this firsthand in my career, they have to get it right once to get into the system and steal something or whatever, make some damage, get a ransom in this example. We have to get it right every time.
Yeah.
Because we have to stop them.
Yeah.
So we can't afford to make one mistake. They can make mistakes, doesn't matter, because they go to the next victim. They move to the next victim. Okay, this one's not successful, whatever. I'll find someone else.
Yep.
But in our case, we have to get it right every time because we have to stop them. Otherwise, we'll
a lot more consequences for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so what role does AI have? Like, can't these people who are trying to hack in start using AI to try and find all of the holes?
They already do. They already use AI.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things where I don't know. And this is just my personal observation. So in the last maybe 6 to 12 months, I noticed lots of attacks, and this still happens, of course. But I noticed that the customers' appetite to new cybersecurity systems, to new cybersecurity projects, to invest in cybersecurity, has dropped a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that, but
I would have thought with AI that
I thought it would have gone the opposite.
That's the problem. It's dropped a little bit because at this point in time, customers they're waiting to see. Okay, we have AI, and AI is working for us to automate business, this, that, whatever. And there've been some investments in AI used for cybersecurity, but it's not enough. And in my opinion, is just scratching the surface. It's not enough. So customers are waiting. Okay, we're waiting for that big boom when AI is coming and it's going to help us to actually stop cyber attacks altogether. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
It's always work in progress.
Yeah.
But I noticed a bit of
waiting.
A bit of waiting. Customers are a bit waiting. Okay, let's see what's going to happen next, because AI is coming and it's going to help us. And
meanwhile, they're getting weaker and weaker.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem.
Okay, so what does we as Web do regarding AI?
So in the world of AI, we started with small projects, and basically what we've done in Europe, we have some examples, even on our website, some testimonials and use cases and things like that, business cases. We had some large customers in Europe working with Where'sWeb, but here in New Zealand, my idea was to take all this knowledge, all this know-how that we have from past projects in Europe, from larger businesses, and apply this to small and medium businesses. Because New Zealand, as we know, it is the land of small SMBs, right?
Yes, it is.
Not so many large corporations over here. Most of the businesses here are SMBs. Everyone is hungry for AI. Everyone knows that it's here.
Yes.
It's a tsunami. You cannot stop it. It's coming.
Yes.
So
everybody's aware.
Everyone is aware of that. Yes, but how do we actually use it, right?
Yes, that's the big question.
Correct. And
people
in
are
terms
sick of hearing about all of it.
Yeah, exactly. So SMBs, and that's because this misconception that at the beginning of this conversation, the AI conversation in general. This misconception that you need big pockets, you need to have large budgets, only big corporations will actually be able to implement AI because it's so cost restrictive or whatever. I don't think it is. I think we can actually use AI and we use it for small and medium businesses. And just if you want, I can give you a few examples. The approach that we take is a very hands-on approach with customers. So when I go and talk to a customer, and someone in our team go and talk to a customer about AI, we actually come and sit down and we do a bit of what we call an introductory workshop. We sit down and we go to a list of things and we say, okay, tell me what are maybe the top 5 or top 10, pain points that you have in your business. Maybe
so this could be in their sales process,
in
their marketing,
data analytics, in marketing, customer support, customer service.
Okay. Top pain points.
What are the things that annoy you? What are the things that you want to get rid of? You don't want to do every day. Right?
Okay.
And obviously, people have that in mind already. They know.
Yeah.
And we put a list. We put a list down, maybe 5, maybe 10, whatever. We put a list of people of tasks, and then when we look at that list, invariably, 80% of those can be automated.
Really?
How you can automate that? Obviously using AI. Well, customer service. Oh my God, I need to have my customer service. My support is flooded with level 1 queries, and my staff, my customer support staff, answers the same question all over again. Same question all over again. Obviously, there are other critical things that we have to do and we have to solve, but maybe 70% of the questions that are coming are just very basic questions from customers that they need help with some basic
So is that like with
task.
a chatbot or something on the
Exactly.
website?
So in that case, we can have a chatbot there. And now chatbots are becoming more and more intelligent.
I was going to say, because a lot of people have been put off chatbots because they're just like, I want to talk to a human.
Exactly.
Yeah. You get upset with it and frustrated.
And you know why? Because there's a script behind that chatbot to answer the questions. So it's frustrating, and I've been through that as well. It's frustrating when you go and ask a chatbot a question, and chatbot said, yes, I'm happy to help you, whatever, and it gives you an answer. And then you ask a second question, and then based on your question, the chatbot will take you here or there because there's the script. It doesn't know anything else.
So what's the next level that you're talking about?
So the next level I'm talking about is it's an intelligent chatbot, which is basically a chatterbot, which is conversational. So now the chatbot itself is going to not answer questions, it's going to have a conversation with you. What the conversation is based on what? Is based on the data that you give to that chatbot. That chatbot would have access, obviously, to data, lots of data.
You've got to put the information in.
You have to put information in, garbage out. If it's not good information, it's going to be bad answers. But you give them good information, and basically on that data, it will go and respond to that question. Respond the question with the appropriate answer, as opposed to just follow a script. Because if you follow a script, you hit a wall at some point, and conversations ends and say, okay, I'll transfer you to an operator, right? But now you can actually come in and have that real conversation with the chatbot, and all the information that the operators have in their head and the experience.
Yes.
You can actually translate into a number of documents, and the chatbot will have access to that and can actually answer questions.
Love it.
So 80-70% of those level 1 basic,
Yeah. So even
tickets
small to
can
medium
be solved.
business for the little chatbot on their website.
Exactly. 'Cause they're not, honestly, it's this misconception. Oh, but this is going to cost me an arm and a leg, It's not that expensive.
What's your version of that's not that expensive? Everybody has a different level of that sentence.
Yeah, okay.
What are you saying? Like, let's say a 5-person business, real small.
Yes.
And they decide to put a chatbot on their website that's going to do the next level things that you're talking about. What kind of ballpark should they be thinking?
Okay. I don't like to give numbers because it's obviously a very open conversation. Depends on what they want to do and the business and the requirements and whatever, all that stuff. But let me put it this way: something like that, similar basic. I mean, a basic that what small customer would need, it's probably in a few $1,000s.
Oh wow!
Ballpark.
Okay. Now I agree with you about it being affordable.
Yeah. So I'm not talking 20,000, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a few $1,000s, and you have a system implemented. Because at the end of the day, is the chatbot itself. I don't think anyone goes in and starts and codes a chatbot from scratch for a customer.
No.
Obviously,
You start with something.
that is a lot of work, of course.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. I mean, you have your template, you code everything that you need, you have a template, and then you can just go and make some changes to the template based on the requirements from that customer. That is not such a, hard task. You can do that. And in terms of man hours, because obviously that's what we're talking about here. So I have a developer, okay, go and do this for this customer, thank you very much. Well, I'm not going to pay him 3 months of work because he has a template already, so I'll pay him just maybe 2 days, or I don't know.
Yeah.
So obviously that cost is going down. So that's what I'm saying. It's not such a, costly exercise as people will
It's
think.
not something to be scared of.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Boxes and Briefs is proudly brought to you by Gilligan Shepherd, the problem solvers in business.
Okay, so let's get into it. For businesses who want to start implementing AI into their operations without getting overwhelmed, you've talked about chatbots. What else is there that they can do?
So there's lots of other things that they can do. For example, data analytics is a big thing. So AI models in general are very well suited to understand patterns. And probably a good example of that is financial data. So it's a lot of patterns there, and that we need to understand in terms of forecasting, in terms of understanding profit and loss for a company, whatever, all those things.
So I could put in all of my financial accounts for the last 5 years, and it will tell me when my best month and worst month is going to be. Anything more than that?
And it can tell you, well, I wouldn't say, what's going to happen in the future, obviously. But it can give you some indication of, the trends in terms of your historical data, gives you some trends, what to do in the future. Okay, what do you want to, maybe focus on for the next 12 months to get a maximum profit, to get maximum ROI from a specific service or a specific product.
Okay, so it can analyze
like
which one's got the highest profit margins.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So in terms of that, what we have at the moment is we're actually going to launch a platform, and that platform is going to be AI for finance. And we have this exact goal in mind, to launch this platform, and will be I would probably call it AI as a service, and you'll hear this more and more. Probably at the moment nobody coined that term in New Zealand.
AI as a service. Heard it here first.
But hopefully I'm the first one saying that now. But I'm sure you'll hear this more and more. And with this platform, what we're going to do, we're going to have a subscription-based platform. Obviously, we'll give access into that platform to a financial, company, for example.
Financial company or a business with their financials.
Both. It can be either or. It doesn't matter. And basically, what we're doing from there, we're going to connect their financial systems to the platform. So it's using Xero, MYOB, whatever, using Simpro, using something else, your CRM system. We're going to basically, take all those connections together into this platform, and with access into that data, now we can actually give you very, very quick and meaningful, forecasting reports, meaningful, whatever information the customer needs quickly. That's the important thing, because at the end of the day, the information is there.
Yes,
anyone
but
can
it's the
anyone
time
can
is
get
the
it.
problem you're
And
solving.
the time is the problem, exactly.
Yeah.
As a CFO, I need to know my profit and loss for customer X for the last 3 months now.
Yep.
I don't want to go to Jane and Joe and ask this and go to the other accountant and come back and maybe 3 days later I'll have a report on my desk. No, I want to have it now. So what we're going to do is this platform, we're going to create an avatar as well that someone can install. You can put it on your phone, for example. And talking about the conversational chatbots
Yes.
that we just discussed, we'll have a conversational chatbot there. And for example, a CFO goes, hey, Alex, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You know, you can't give it a name, obviously.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, I want to know my profit and loss for the last month.
Okay.
Boom. Okay, I want you to put it into a PowerPoint format, send it to my email address. I have a meeting with the customer in the next 10 minutes. Boom. You'll get it in your inbox.
Sounds so simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can say though that with this platform that you're going to be pushing live, that a lot of businesses are going to be scared about putting their personal financial data for their business into something else. There's going to be security fears.
Yes, yeah.
How can you address those?
Yes. So one of the big things there is at the moment all the AI models that we work with. I mean, not all of them, but let's say majority of the AI models that the customers work with are cloud-based. So you have your AI model, and you need to find something. You need to use it for something, whatever you feed information, you feed data, you put inputs over there to get the output that you want, and you get the answers. That goes into a cloud. It's a black box. You don't know what that is. You don't know how that AI model came back to that conclusion and give you that answer, but it gives you an answer.
Yes, you said one before. What was it?
Yeah, explainable AI. That's the next thing that will come up in the future as well. Explainable AI, as opposed to send something into a black box and not understanding how that AI give you the answer.
Yes.
The AI will give you the answer, but it will explain how did you get to that conclusion as well. So you know exactly.
Right. So this is the horrible thing about I can tell you an answer to a question, but then you say to me, how did you work that out?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like showing your workings in an exam.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awful. Awful for me.
Yes.
I've got the answer. What more do you want?
Yeah.
Well, now you won't need to worry about
Do I have
showing
to
your working.
explain?
You'll do it for you.
Yeah, do I
Okay.
explain myself? Yeah. No,
So
but-
you mentioned it,
yeah.
the word strawberry.
Uh-huh.
And-
Oh yeah. It's an
Yeah.
interesting one, and it comes back to the transparency. If you and now if I'm not wrong, I think in a new version of GPT, ChatGPT, I think they fixed that. I haven't checked in the last 24 hours because obviously this evolved very quickly. But anyway.
Someone
This is-
found a problem.
Yeah, someone found the problem, exactly. And that's it's a classic example of you go and ask a question and it comes back with an answer. And the question was, and a lot of people have tried this, and the result is the same. The question was, how many R's in the word strawberry? And the answer, inevitable answer from ChatGPT was 2.
2.
Yeah. Well,
But there's 3.
there's 3, obviously. If you go and just count them, it's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you ask the question, how did you get to that conclusion?
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact answer, but it's a very weird answer
Okay.
that comes back with some sort of, logical interpretation of the word strawberry.
Yes.
And the answer is still, the conclusion is 2. And we go, what?
So it's wrong.
It is wrong,
It's
obviously.
wrong.
Yeah.
So explainable AI comes
yeah.
back with something more understandable.
Yeah, so it's not only more understandable, it's the fact that it will come back with a logical answer and explain to you how it reached that conclusion.
Right. So as far as teaching AI, it would say there are 2 R's in strawberry, and it'll explain how it came to it, and you'd be able to say to it, well, actually, this piece of information, your explanation is incorrect.
Yeah.
It's 3, and then it will fix itself and keep learning.
Yeah, keep learning. Exactly.
Okay. All right. Can you give us a concrete example? Because we can talk about all of the fluff around AI and it's here and everything. I want to know a case study. Like, how have you actually used AI to solve a problem for a business?
Yeah, so I have a few examples, obviously. So probably the one I'll give you here is an example that It's a project that we worked on in Europe, and the reason I'm doing this is because in New Zealand I have examples, but they're quite small.
Yes.
As I said, we're just starting to walk here.
That's all good. We're happy to learn from the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Yes.
But we have some very good examples in other parts of the world. So in this example, there's a large company in Europe. Again, I won't name names, but there's a large company in Europe. They have obviously physical shops, and also they have an e-commerce website and obviously online shop.
Okay.
So one of their big problems was that when they have new products coming in, obviously they go into inventory system and they go on the shelves and whatever. They want to put those on the online shop as well. So that was a manual process. Someone has to go and write the description of the product and the pricing and cut some pictures, hopefully good quality, put some pictures on the website. And so the the efficiency of that process was they were probably able to load maybe 2-3 products an hour,
right?
Or maybe even 2 hours,
Yep.
on the online shop. So what we did here is we said, okay, there's a better way, obviously. So we actually have an AI-based system now that everything that comes in, the AI obviously will have access to the inventory system, will have access to the description of the product, will have access to the pictures and everything else, and AI will go and create the actual
product for the website.
And before loading it on the website, obviously, it will actually go through a vetting process from a human. Obviously, someone has to check, make sure that everything is correct. The pricing is correct. That's probably the most important thing. Is the pricing is not correct,
because it sounds like if it's going to go and get the image, is it just going where you tell it to go to get the image?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be some kind of input to say this is the website that the product is coming from. Take the photo and description from here.
Yeah, from here, exactly, and then it does. But the big thing is that's automated. So just have to do it once, and that is automated. And based on that logic, the process actually increased from 2-3 products an hour to something like 5 products a minute.
Wow.
Because
I'm going to assume then that they're getting their same pictures and everything from one place, not several different locations.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
But
imagine what you can do with that time that you've just saved.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Is you have the information, you have access, you have everything you need is there. But it's just the fact that we can do it so much quicker than before. Obviously, we still need a human to. Someone has staff. I keep calling human. It's probably not nice. But anyway, a person to be there and obviously check and make sure everything is correct and all that stuff. But that person in the meantime can do something more creative, more productive, as opposed to just sit there and write description for products all day long.
So then, what should businesses be aware of? What are the pitfalls that are easy for you to say, watch out for this?
So, there are a few. I'm an optimistic, obviously, but I have to be realistic as well. So I'm pro HI, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. But the main thing here is we have to be careful and not to think that AI is number one our friend. AI is not our friend. AI is a tool that we need to use. In our benefit. My car is not my friend. I'm using my car to go from A to B. I use my car to come here for this meeting, right? But I don't trust my car. It's not my friend.
Okay.
I'm using my car for an outcome. I need to travel, and I control my car.
Yes, things can still go wrong with the car.
I have full control. Otherwise, disaster can happen, right?
Well, for now you have full control, but
For now, yes. Probably not a good example because they will change soon. But that's one thing, and there's others. For example, ethical. From an ethical perspective, we need to make sure that we have the regulation in place. The regulators, they have to come in, and we have to have the regulation and the legislative environment to manage everything that will happen with this evolution, because it's an evolution. It's something that will change workforce, will change everything forever, and we have to adapt quickly with that. So
okay, so there's basically, you're describing an area in between. Don't be afraid of AI, but don't trust it.
Don't trust it, and make sure that you have full control over it as well.
Yeah. You mentioned something about edge AI.
Yeah, so Edge AI is probably a good example at this stage. Edge AI is a concept that is coming back, quite a lot these days in terms of the AI developers and all that, where we take the technology and put it back close to the source. So what happens at the moment? Everything is, most of it is cloud-based. So you go in ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever, all kind of, everything is cloud-based. You give it the information, you use it for Gen AI, obviously text-based and all that stuff, and you get
and
images
then that comes
and all that.
with its own set of security issues.
Of course, yeah. So they are secure. I'm not saying they're bad, but it can have some challenges. Exactly.
Okay.
And the better answer to that is to get everything back to the source. So what we have now is, for example, we are, and I'm sure if any AI developer watches this and or listens to this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. There's many platforms out there where you use LLMs, pre-trained LLMs, large language model, LLM, which is basically like an AI model.
Yeah.
Pre-trained LLMs, they are open source now, and that you can actually download and install it in your own environment, on my laptop.
Yes.
The thing with the LLMs is, pre-trained LLMs is something that we can use, open source, for example, we can use locally on our machines, and they get the same results. I would say the intense work is to train LLMs.
Yes.
That's where the money comes in. That's where Facebook invested, billions of millions of dollars in ChatGPT and everyone to train those LLMs.
Yeah.
And they use trillions and trillions of words and documents and files and
Keep
data
feeding it.
and keep feeding it and whatever. LinkedIn is obviously using our data to do that as well. So by the way, you can actually disable that now. Otherwise, they use our data to train the LLMs.
Why would you turn it off?
If you want, you can turn it off.
But why?
So for privacy reasons, if you want to turn it off, they have the option now to turn it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice self.
if you don't,
If you're worried about it,
or if you don't trust them, you can actually turn it off now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a button there basically to turn it off. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's where the hard work is. Once the LLM is trained, it doesn't consume too much. Too much compute. So you can actually install it on a laptop and use it. For example, there's a platform there called Hugging Face that I'm using, and lots of people are using, I'm sure. You have 550,000 LLMs over there that you can choose from.
Wow.
Facebook has LLMs there called Llama. They actually use those LLMs as well. We can use those LLMs, I should say. And with those, you get the same results, and obviously once in a while you go and update them and everything else, Llama version 2, version 3, and iterations, and obviously we can use them. And now the whole concept, so going back to the question, because it's quite a long answer, going back to the question now, we can take everything back on-prem and use closer to the source, as in we're going to have these pre-trained LLMs in cars, on our phones, on local devices,
it's kind of like the
IoT
app on
devices.
your phone.
Exactly.
Right? Every now and then it needs an update, but actually it lives on your phone.
Exactly. As opposed to when you go and chat and ask for input, it doesn't have to go to the cloud. It's as a source here. Yes.
Okay. All right. Looking ahead, what AI trends do you think will have the biggest impact on businesses in the next 5 years?
Yeah, it's a very good one. I think there's going to be, a big shift. For example, healthcare is going to be a big one.
Okay.
So in terms of healthcare, we see already.
What, with diagnostics?
Diagnostics, imaging.
So no more Dr. Google. It'll be Dr. AI.
Yeah, it will be Dr. AI. Well, actually, in fact, if you go to San Diego, you will see there's some medical pods in San Diego, in some places there, in some, I think it's some malls at the moment. They called, if I remember correctly, Forward Pod. I think it's Forward Pod, yeah. And if you Google it, you'll find it, Forward Pod, I think they call it. Anyway, so they have this pod where you can actually go in. This subscription you pay for about $99 a month. It's not even expensive. You go and sit down in a chair and they scan your body. And they do things like, okay, your blood pressure, this, diabetes, all. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but there's lots of.
They're going to make money out of hypochondriacs.
Yeah, yeah, and you can. And by the way, talking about them, you can go there and use it 10 times a day. It doesn't matter. Just go there and sit down and use that. And what's going to happen with that is going to be. Obviously it's going to evolve and it's getting better and better at imaging and diagnostics and better and scanning. They do DNA scanning now, and they're going to have what is called preventative medicine.
Yeah.
Which basically will go in there and sit down and say, okay, you are high risk of cancer, this type of cancer. This is what you have to do because your cells are not going here, there, whatever.
Wow.
Mitochondria.
So not only is AI going to save us time,
It's going to save lives.
it's going to give us more lifetime to spend time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a whole new world.
Yeah.
And also coming with that is personalized medicine as well, because with all that information at hand, so in that example, with all that information at hand, your doctor can actually, you go back to your doctor and your doctor can actually create a personalized plan for you, as opposed to, I have a headache. Yeah, well, everyone has a headache. Take
Have
a
a
Panadol.
Panadol.
Yeah.
It's going to say, well, you have a headache because you've had too much sugar.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Haven't had enough water today.
Yeah, or
You
you're
haven't got enough
dehydrated or something. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You go for the natural option
Yes.
of water. We're talking about sugar again.
Yeah. Another
Awesome.
big one. It's transportation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For the last 5 years, for example, just give you an example. For the last 5 years in US, there's a company there in US. They have 2 trucks, electric trucks. They're both of them they're basically moving goods from LA to New York, I think it is, or San Francisco. I can't remember. LA, I think it's LA. LA to New York, and they go like this. For the last 5 years, nonstop. That's what they do. One going this way, one going that way. And obviously self-driving, using AI, and that's what they do. They had accidents, they had problems, whatever, but what happens? They learn. They learn and they learn and they learn and they learn for the last 5 years. And now they evolve so much that they're going to put some trucks on the roads in US, and this year in 2024 they said there's another company there. They put some trucks to deliver goods in Texas. To actual work, actually delivering goods from supermarkets and from warehouses to supermarkets and all the stuff. So groceries and things like that. So actually working and delivering goods. So that's growing and growing quite.
So then,
quite rapidly.
for a business going, okay, I don't want to get left behind. I don't want to wait for the next big thing in AI. I want to start implementing it now. You've suggested that they make a list of pain points. Then what? Is it talk to a company like We As Web?
Ideally, yes. And I'm not just saying that because I want customers. Of course I do, but I'm not just saying that. The main thing here, the problem is customers, that especially small medium businesses, they don't have the skills, they don't have people, they cannot employ people at the moment. They have high skills in this technology. Because obviously we're talking about AI developers, we're talking about prompt engineers, we're talking about people that actually know what they're doing. They are very expensive. You cannot hire someone like that. I mean, you can obviously, but
you'll spend a lot of money.
You spend a lot of money, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So it's better to have a chat with an AI provider. They know what they're doing, and they can actually develop a specific plan for you. And I always go in customers and say, okay, I want to do this. No, hold on. Just start small.
Yeah.
What is let's find something that it's a big pain point now, and we solve a problem, and let's start there. Once that is implemented and it's working and gives you some measurable outcomes, because that's the important thing. Sometimes you go, okay, I want to implement AI and this, and I've implemented AI for the last 6 months. It's working fine, and it's working. Did you save money? I don't know. Did you save time?
Yeah, measure it.
I don't know, but it's hot.
I'm cool kid now.
Everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
No, it's about having measurable outcomes and understand exactly what I've done. Okay, I've done this.
Yeah.
I've implemented this for 6 months. Go back, analyze it, and say, okay, well, I've saved 70% of my costs on, I don't know, on something.
Putting products into a website.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Putting products in probably a good example. I've saved that much money. So understand exactly how, and if it helped, then obviously continue and
then you can take a percentage of that saving and put it into the next problem.
And put it in exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, if any of our listeners want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
So we have our website, wearsweb.com. So it's a .com website. And they can see business cases there. They can see all our services. Obviously, it's not only about AI. We're doing a lot of other things. They can have a look at the website. There's business cases over there with examples projects that we've done in the past and our customers, and so they can find all the information, including my details are there as well. My contact details are there as well.
Excellent. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Hopefully people are not going to be so timid about implementing AI into their businesses.
Yes, hope so too. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Boxes and Briefs is proudly brought to you by Gilligan Shepherd, the problem solvers in business.